LGD should just be able to win any time. Again, they have so much showing threat, so much CC, they can lock someone down and instantly take them away. And we did see while we weren't on our screens that LGD did drop the Rift Herald, so almost even taking that mid lane turret.
You know, getting the plating from it, I'm assuming, although I didn't actually see. At the end of the day, you know, Quay's gone back, but he still hasn't picked up his first item instead of Kindle Gem. This is what we missed, folks, or at least what we saw before we went into the port.
PP God was playing a bit aggressive, trying to go on to Chance. Nice ultimate coming out from Uniboy, though, and Garvey just has so much room to pop off, and this is what the composition is meant for. You have 4 meaty bruisers and a Kai'Sa. All of them are in the middle of the fight, causing chaos, being a bit of a distraction, allowing Kai'Sa to do what she does best.
And when a comp like this gets ahead, you know, even the bruisers are doing so much damage. You know, the Galio in a very good position. Colt, who has been farming up, it's pretty much the same, almost towards his Gore Drinker. And V5 just looking for options. Now down 4,500 gold. If my maths does the trick, and LGD trying to break down some of these turrets and move between vision.
The thing that I like about LGD's comp a lot is that it does really well if it can get on the objective first. Again, it wants V5 to kind of walk into them, but even if they aren't, their composition is just so tanky, it isn't too bad to just face check vision for them.
I was saying, moves like that as well, right? Chance has the sustain on the set, so he can go and clear vision, take a shot from Mole, but there's no repercussion because he can back away, he can heal it up. Lyric at this state of the game, 14 minutes in, his turret plating has gone down. Still all turrets on the map standing, if only just. But I want to take a moment to look at items and look at the item advantage that LGD have, as you can see.
Yeah, we already see Garvey bringing out the Kraken Slayer and the Gore Drinker coming out for Quay. So we know in teamfights they're going to be much stronger at this point. And he talks about, hey, V5 still have turrets up. No turrets have gone down yet. But we're at the point where LGD can push out either this mid or bot lane, hover towards the other one, poke it with their finger, and it will fall down.
Make a play like this, right? Using the Gallo, the global pressure that we've talked about numerous times.
It's false security hysterics, false security. Those towers aren't standing.
I was going to try and quote you there. I was forgetting what you actually called as Quay comes in. Good scat of the week from Mole, so the play negated for now.
Still, this is what they needed to do, right? You just put the pressure down in mid lane. You don't actually need to kill Mole. You can walk up with the wave, and then you can look for a repeat play, whether it's in the next 30 seconds to a minute, and you will be able to start taking over the map and getting these structures and pushing in for more aggressive vision.
Herald could be coming next, but look at this, an engage from PP God trying to lock down Chance. They did this last time, and they got brutally injured as Uniboy is in front of him as well. V5 have gone pretty deep into the enemy jungle, but the play stops there. It's all for Herald while the first turret goes down to Garvey, and he's like, no one's here, I'm just going to keep pushing.
I think this definitely favors the side of LGD. Garvey's getting a bunch of solo gold, solo EXP. The members of V5 are sharing this. They don't even really have a great place to drop this Herald or a great member to honestly funnel the gold on with how far behind Trigger is. So it doesn't matter that V5 are getting the objective. This is a straight up win for LGD.
He's 30 CS up, make it about 40. That bottom turret is going to give him his second item as well. Remember, a lot of these Kai'Sas optimized for the Serrated Dirk. I know something you and Clement were talking about the other day. Leads him into the Collector, and now that he's got it, Garvey is 2, well, let's say 1.5 items over Trigger.
I mean, Garvey has so much burst at this point in the game. If he gets on top of any of the squishy members on the side of V5, Olaf, Syndra, or Samira, they are just instantly dead. I'm not even quite sure that Alistar can survive without his ultimate. But V5 are going to answer for a play on the top side of the map. This, of course, is going to open up Dragon for LGD.
Yeah, so second Dragon coming into Infernal. The Herald will stop before it gets the secondary charge. Eye exposed and Colt just takes it down. At least some gold for V5 to be optimistic for a quick second, but we are so far away from that team fighting stage, from the stage you talked about with V5. I like how you set up conditions this game. It seems very simple to watch the windows of V5 and the clock that they're starting to set out for themselves.
And it just goes to where V5's comp kind of has a very simple identity, right? We're talking about the front-to-back team fighting, but LGD's comp having the more dynamic options that we've talked about. It doesn't feel bad for LGD to team fight, especially at this point in the game where they are ahead. We've seen they have a lot of tools to make picks in the side lanes. They have 2 globals. They can look for aggression into the enemy jungle and try to just kind of do that push and pull motion, pulling the enemy back and forth. And we've seen a lot of the teams that are finding wins these days, it's all about the comp that has more options.
Yeah, and just to highlight your point of vision as well, the push and pull where V5 are always trying to walk in and clear away some of this vision, but Chance has been so diligent. He's got a 49 ward score at 18 minutes into the game versus PP God in comparison who's at 18. Something people wouldn't talk about usually, but Chance has just been, so again, to use that word, diligent with the vision control for LGD.
PP God was one of the best supports coming out from 2020 summer, so the fact that, Chance faring so well up against him, Univo and Quay also doing quite a nice job, it's just so phenomenal to see. We need to remember, it is early in the LPL. It is before Chinese New Year, which is typically when a lot of these shenanigans do happen. So I don't feel like we can learn anything set in stone. Let's just look at top esports results for that one. But still, this is a great sign for LGD. And I'll shout out Clement. Clement was really the only one of us casters that believed in this team. He thought, hey, this team's not going to be at the bottom. Maybe they'll be, I think you have them somewhere between like the 10th and 14th range. So
he did.
LGD, your boy Clement Chu believes in you.
Yeah, he does. And, when Clement believes, a lot of the time he's not wrong. So maybe a lesson we could all learn. V5 at the moment still behind about 5,000 gold, excuse me. LGD at least holding control for now. And the difference between some of these better teams and maybe some of the middling teams is knowing how to transition into the mid-game, knowing how to close out the game, and more importantly, how to use your comp to achieve exactly that.
That's a good point. We saw with BLG that, they had an advantage, but they didn't exactly know how to capitalize on their composition's win condition to be able to close out the game. LGD, though, I think have been doing quite well, right? We've seen them consistently just play the three-lane setup, group up, take division, and they are looking for these picks, just kind of waiting for the next neutral objective to come up where we can start to see these team fights again.
Gotta make sure that Colt doesn't get caught out on that note. Uses World Ender, and that's an ultimate with a relatively low cooldown, but still an ultimate burn. For V5, they'll take an advantage anywhere they can get it. And coming back to your discussion, I was going to ask, do you want to draw V5 to some of these side lanes? Do you want to try and get V5 in an unfavorable position where LGD can get easier objective control?
I mean, for LGD, they're fine just letting the game play out at the pace it's been because, again, they have the tools to answer on the map. They have the tools to just stand in front of a neutral objective. V5 there, what they did was make a cheeky play where they forfeited the top side of the map. They realized, hey, if we're going to find an opening somewhere, we need to create it ourselves by giving LGD pressure somewhere and allocating our resources to the opposite side of the map. So had they been able to find that pick on Colt, it could have worked out to maybe where they could have gotten a bit more and won out very incrementally. But Colt played it well. V5 on that play that they decided to make were the ones who lost out.
The turret going solo over to Uniboy, picks up the Zonyas off the back of it. Lyric note for this next fight, which could be a potential in a minute 15 for the Dragon Soul being Infernal. We have two items pretty much across the board, or will be across the board, for LGD.
And a lot of key items as well. The fact that we have the Zanya's Hourglass coming out now for Uniboy means he's going to be a massive engagement. And of course, he took that Predator. I expect Colt to be picking up the Sterix Gauge soon, which I've talked a lot about Sterix Gauge when I was last broadcasting with Clement. It just synergizes so well with Aatrox's kit and the Gore Drinker now that you do heal off of dealing damage or even taking damage, just making him that really scary sustain tank that honestly V5 might not have enough DPS to deal with.
And if he's an item ahead, then he gets into the Spirit Visage, then he gets into, potential Death Dance if we even see that item. There's a lot of healing available for Aatrox in these games where, a couple of grievous wounds aren't going to affect him if he gets it early in the game. Just note, I said 2 for LGD. I picked myself up because Garvey has 3, naturally being so ahead of the curve. He's got 232 CS at 22 minutes in the game. And with the Phantom Dancer 3rd, he's going to get a lot of attack speed, a lot of more dueling potential around this next dragon.
I do want to go back to earlier when you mentioned the word sustain, because there's actually one thing that LGD's comp is missing, and it's missing healing reduction, right? We have Samira, Immortal Shield bow, tons of sustain in her kit. We have an Olaf on that side as well. We're definitely going to need to see something like the Oblivion Orb come out for Uniboy next, or, you're at least giving V5 certain windows that they're able to play around.
Dragon going to go down in the meanwhile. That leads to Soul for LGD, and sorry, just coming back to your point, you're right. Let's see where the groups will come out of from LGD to stop some of that native healing. Especially since, we will eventually get to the point where Samira can go into the fight and can't be touched at the later portion of the game.
You know, this is where the game can definitely start to lull, because as LGD, you're just chilling. You're fine with however the game goes from here. You can send, you know, your carries to 3 lanes, put Uniboy top, put, you know, Colt bot, and keep the other 3 mid. Just keep grouping up, putting down vision, waiting for the next objective. V5 are the ones who need to make some kind of rash decision. V5 are the team who need to do what they did before, give up pressure somewhere and try to commit to a 5v4 or 2v1 play like they did before somewhere on the map. The ball is in V5's court.
It just looks like difficult, Lyric, because I was just noticing Vision again, LGD keep tracking. They know where Weiwei is every step of the way. And in the bottom side, you can see crucial wards at crucial spots. Again, the Vision game being played really nicely by LGD, and V5 have to face check into these brushes. And with a comp like LGD, if you step in the wrong brush, you die in an instant, and you give LGD the window to snowball even faster and go past chillin' into mega chillin'.
Yeah, I like your point. LGD's comp definitely having a lot of burst, right? You walk into a brush with Pantheon Aatrox as Samira, as Syndra, you are just absolutely dead. And, you know, I don't want to see any team mega chillin', so I hope we don't get to that spot. LGD are going to aggressively fight for this vision, though, so we do see V5 here posturing for the play. Longshing does the TP.
Okay. Quay not chillin'. He's going angry as Chance leads the charge with him. He uses the ultimate to roll in. Garvey now here as well, level 14 on this Kai'Sa. Just in context, Trigger is level 12, so a lot of damage there, and LGD after clearing out vision, threatening the potential Baron, but not starting.
We need to remember, LGD have really good turn potential coming out from Pantheon set.
Yep.
Like, all of these champions are great at turning and peeling off Baron and jumping onto the enemy team. They don't exactly have the fastest Baron from the fact that we talked about, hey, it's a comp with 4 bruisers, 180 carry, but Chance is kind of finding a flank, though. He's just going to walk and clear the ward. We need to remember, though, right, LGD are a very inexperienced squad. Maybe not going to make the same kind of decisive play that a team like TES or JDG would, who would probably just jump on this Baron outright.
That's true. They're going to be cautious, and let's give them benefit of the doubt. For now, it's still fine. LGD still holding that gold lead. Is Quay going to get spotted out backing? And this means for V5 with the timers, they can actually go in, clear away some of that vision, but a nice little ward placed by Chances is backing away means Baron in full vision, and V5 all they can do is push out the waves and most likely reset themselves to get ready for the Dragon Soul that could go to LGD.
Exactly. I like that you end on the Dragon Soul, because it's actually the correct play for LGD to just wait. They don't need to be too trigger hungry. They just want to wait out the Soul. They already have 2 Infernals. They're 1 away from, of course, getting that ability and having the explosives on their attacks and abilities. So why not just take the safer route to the win? We do also see the Oblivion Orb coming out for Uniboy now, so they are going to be able to deal with a lot of that healing on the side of Victory 5. And again, you said it, V5 are the ones who are going to need to look to make a pick. We still are, I'd say, far away from any point where they're strong. Maybe Longshing is quite a bit tanky right now, so they should just be able to outright burst him, but still, I think Mole is quite far behind, especially with the fact that he had to buy the Chemtech Putrefier. Sorry, I think Purifier would have been a cooler word, but it's not.
I agree. Putrefier, I had to Google as well. He's still sitting on the tier, so he's optimized for that item. The Archangel will be coming third, but he has to teleport in, ready for this Dragon, so won't be available for the fight. The item disadvantage very glaring against LGD. And V5 now trying to establish vision control as Soul stands there in 50 seconds to glare them in the face. And I know our chat might be thinking, hey, 10 kills, 26 minutes, we're falling asleep here. But you got to get ready, you got to wake up, because in 40 seconds time, we're going to have this fight. And we're going to see who gets Soul or denied on V5's side.
I just want to see how V5 elect to play this one out. They really would love to find this pick here, because again, they don't have a great way of keeping LGD at arm's length.
Engage? No. Okay, V5, nope, 5 versus 4. Yeah, absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, Uniboy just going to hit top.
Yeah, so LGD, like you said, having some pretty decent shot calling and very good read of how to play the map. He does have teleport, so he could be there in an instant. V5's only chance might be to just burn Dragon right away. Ooh, Mole.
Yeah, the week's good. Onto Quay, gets him at half health, but Colt walking in, remember, he's pretty tanky himself. That feels like Longshing on the Ornn at this point. Walking through with PP God in the flank. That sneaky man is waiting for his moment.
Yeah, Uniboy having everything up.
Okay, Dragon going down quickly, comes in with the ultimate. Quay goes in, they turn for the fight instead. Uniboy's there, onto Trigger in the backline. Chance gets his angle as well. Call the forward goal with a great knock-up. The heroes as they find Quay, but that's a 4-man knock-up across multiple parts of the terrain. Uniboy with a great fight as Garvey's already picked up a double kill. Sets him up for Penta territory. Colt flashes forward onto Mole. There's the triple, and Pete Big God separated from his team. That ult from Uniboy welcomes him personally to the LPL. They get Soul on top of it.
LGD picking up 3 kills, getting Soul. They should very easily be able to turn onto this Baron. Just excellent map play so far we've seen in the mid-game. A lot of patience, which you wouldn't expect from a rookie squad. And they're just showing V5 like a textbook lesson on how to play League of Legends in their own home arena.
The team that I will admit I put at the bottom of the barrel of the LPL is classing on V5 and Victory 5. Only with 4 members. The jungler not nearby. It's Baron on top of that Soul. It's Colt who ease out the back of the wall. LGD have just taken everything.
Yeah, and we saw plus 2,000 gold from that play on the side of LGD. Right now they're sitting at a 10k gold lead. And honestly, it feels way too insurmountable for the side of V5. We are going to go into this replay, and we do see LGD be the ones to engage. They have a great ability to dive onto V5's backline. I was quite surprised when Quay got bursted out immediately, but like you said, Uniboy landing an amazing ult, hitting that knockup. Garvey, as we've seen, just does so well in this position. The rest of LGD are causing so much chaos. He's able to free hit the enemy just unharmed, and it allows LGD to pick up that teamfight win.
And he cleans up so quickly, right? The burst now on a DPS 80 carry just because of how far ahead Garvey is. He's almost full build, Lyric. It's 29-30 minutes in the game with a QSS in the inventory, and after that, 8-0-2, Garvey heading towards that MVP status as LGD with the Baron and Infernal Soul are a threat that V5 have to start giving up objectives for.
V5's options really haven't changed, right? It's still about giving up somewhere on the map and all ending one side. The problem is now with the Baron, now with the Soul, now with an even bigger gold deficit, I feel like we're at a point we've been a lot over the past week where LGD will probably win a fight even with a numbers disadvantage.
It's just how it goes at this point. Call the forward god into Colt in the top lane, but this is a level 17 Aatrox with Gore Drinker. He's going to heal up if you let him as Lungshing gets the knock up, but in comes Quay with the ultimate. Lungshing steering charge away. Garvey ults in though, into 4 people, sets up Uniboy's ultimate and smacks down. 9-0-2 now on the scoreboard as LGD still win out with this global comp.
And we've seen Garvey having such a great game. Probably has the build with the most DPS possible, the IE, the Kraken Slayer, the Collector, the Phantom Dancer. He's just dishing out so much damage. Even the likes of Longshing will just go down to a few autos.
Who walks into the turret that no longer exists. Chance ults into the back line. That showstopper fantastic as Garvey's DPSing down, and down goes PP God. Trigger tries to ulti, and his first game in the LPL gets ignited. Down, Uniboy kills him with a Hextech Rocket Belt. He tries the Justice Punch forward as the Winds of War. That final touch necessary, but not needed. LGD has absolutely slaughtered this one, Lyric. And with 2 inhibitors down, now exposed next to turret. The other week trying to stop that one, but LGD still going forward. The Baron buff to end game 1. Steering charge on a 3-man knockup, but AoE delight. LGD, all 5 survive. Mole ults into Colt. The scat of the week, great. But again, nothing V5 can do with a 16-3 scoreline. LGD erupt in game 1.
And we see the smiles on